With Bitcoin squeaking out yet another new all-time high today, Bitcoin options trading began, marking the beginning of the biggest pump the world has ever seen. And let's just say Bitcoin is not the only thing going up, if you know what I mean. So if you're new here and ready to get pumped on big time, hit that like, subscribe, get signed up to FemeX Blood on our Bitcoin or altcoins. And without any further ado, let's completely absolutely dump in today where we see, even with risk of World War III being escalated from the Biden administration after the loss just 2 weeks ago in the election, Bitcoin still is on the verge of potentially one of the biggest busts we've ever seen. We look at the entire altcoin market cap, excluding Bitcoin, and we are nowhere near all-time highs. But if we look at the entire cryptocurrency market cap, as of just the last 24 hours, we have put in a brand new all-time high for the entire crypto space. Currently, we sit at about $3.06 trillion. And by the end of even in my opinion, the next 6 months, I expect the entire crypto cap to be north of 7 to 8 trillion. And potentially the fullest extent of the bull market, possibly even higher than that. But I just think within the next 6 months, we're going to have a massive, big upside move that will undoubtedly leave Moonboy kind shaking and squealing in a good way. I think that Bitcoin is about to do something extremely big. And without any further ado, let's actually jump into some other key things here. One thing I want to talk about is this tweet, which I think is a little eye-opening. I think a lot of people have a lot of PTSD from the last cycle. I think that the last cycle, let's actually be honest here. The last cycle was a little bit underwhelming. Bitcoin did not hit 100K. It topped out right at about 69,000. Nice. And overall, it was a little bit of an underwhelming cycle. The chart that I just showed right here, you can see this was our first top. We spent months and months getting dumped on. And then the second top was like barely higher for not only Bitcoin, but for the entire crypto cap as well. It was kind of a fake out. It was kind of a letdown a little bit. And one of the main reasons for that is because we had an administration that was pretty not pro-crypto. I don't know if they ended up being extremely anti-crypto, but at this point, I don't remember if they were openly anti-crypto. Eventually they were, but I don't remember specifically back at the end of 2021 if they were like openly anti-crypto, which they eventually did become. But either way, the point is we did not have a lot of good macro, especially regulatory environment on Bitcoin's side. This time I think is different. And overall, I think that last cycle, as I keep mentioning, was kind of a letdown. So we always talk about this super cycle, or people have been talking about it for a while. And the meme this time is different, being just that, a meme. It is very prominent in the space because realistically, all of us, myself included, the idea that this time might actually be different, it kind of seems a little far-fetched. It kind of seems like, hey, don't get too excited. We shouldn't be too bullish. That doesn't seem very reasonable. But at the same time, if we take our emotions out and we look at objectively what is happening, especially what's coming in just the next year as the new administration in the US takes over and everything, I think that the skies are a lot bluer than they've ever been. Let's put it that way. And I'm not saying that this time is going to be different, but what I'm saying is if there ever was a chance that it might be different, I think it'll be this time. And I think that so many people have so much PTSD from the last cycle that they just don't think it's realistic. And that's fine. Because even in my opinion, I'm still pretty hesitant. I'm not like full on, I'm going to absolutely be the biggest moon boy in town, even though a part of me wants to be. And a part of me think that's, over time, it's growing to be a more and more realistic expectation that we actually might not be nearly as bullish as we should be. But there will be a point, in my opinion, that there is some sort of a super cycle, that the S curve truly reaches an inflection point and we go straight up, maybe longer than people are expecting and harder and faster than people are expecting. And truly, it is easy to forget how early you are in Bitcoin when you talk to people that are not on Crypto X and people that are terminally online and obsessed with Bitcoin like most of us. People just don't get, most people in the world just don't get it. And in a sense, it is kind of crazy how early we still are. We also see that I bet options day one so far. Today's the first day of BlackRock's options for Bitcoin spot ETF. The December 20th, 2024 expiry is seeing its highest volume in a $65 strike call, with IBET trading at about $52. Going to $65 reflects a spot Bitcoin price of about almost $115,000 per Bitcoin. Meaning the market right now is extremely bullish that Bitcoin's price will be way over 100K by the end of this year. That is what the market is telling us. That is what money in this market is telling us. Not an opinion. We also see Matthew Hyland pointing out this chart, just a fib of Bitcoin as, maybe just as most recently backtesting this level and maybe ready to make a move up to about the 110 to 115, $115,000 level. We also see that Bitcoin, since the US election, it has been stealing liquidity from gold and the stock market. It's an indication smart money is betting big on Bitcoin, expecting Bitcoin to outperform traditional assets. Ted on X saying $120,000 by the very beginning of 2025 is very likely. Yeah, I mean, it's seeming more and more that way. We also see that Dylan McClare pointing out Saylor brought MicroStrategy from about $1 billion company and in just 4 years to an $80 billion company that holds 30 billion of Bitcoin. And he says here, the opinions of skeptics are irrelevant. It's funny. You get on like CNBC and you hear these people that are criticizing Saylor or writing articles saying that, just talking negatively about him. He did something that those people can and will never be able to do. They didn't take the risk. They didn't see the bigger picture, and their opinions are truly irrelevant. Like, that's one thing that I'm very good at personally is not caring really about what people think for the most part, because let's be honest, most people have no idea what they're talking about. And I think that that's the best way to live your life is like, yeah, definitely respect people. Don't like be outwardly mean or anything, but also understand that most people in general really have no idea what they're doing, period, like with anything. And their opinions on something like Bitcoin are quite literally, unless they're like, first of all, the people that have negative opinions on Bitcoin are never well researched. Let's get that out of the way. And as history has shown, the more you research Bitcoin, whether you're a billionaire or you have $100 in your bank, you become bullish on Bitcoin. We have seen poor people, middle-class people, and now the ultra-wealthy billionaires all gravitate towards Bitcoin. What is the common denominator there? Why? What converts them from a skeptic to an investor and a believer in Bitcoin? Knowledge. It's the only thing. If you have the knowledge, you're converted. You have this knowledge and you understand, oh wait, maybe I was wrong to be skeptical. But the thing is, most people on this planet still have not made that connection. They have not obtained that knowledge. They haven't made that transition. Over time, and specifically, I think over the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to see quite literally hundreds of millions, potentially another billion, maybe 2 billion people or something on the planet. Maybe not that much, but potentially hundreds of millions of more people see the light, potentially. That's a good way of wording it. Like, open their eyes and understand what's actually happening and the true value proposition of Bitcoin. Because if you understand it, then you buy it, basically. The more you know about the more you know about the money, the more you know about money, the larger percentage of your wealth you'll put into Bitcoin. I didn't even plan that to have, to show that tweet immediately after my rant right there, but that's actually kind of perfect. I was going to read this, but I wasn't planning on having that rant and then reading this. I guess I already summed it up before I read this tweet. Absolutely, I agree. We also see Kevin O'Leary getting on. Again, this is another perfect example. Just literally not even, 1 or 2 years ago, this guy was a huge skeptic of Bitcoin. Huge skeptic. Now he's not. So was Larry Fink, at one point a huge skeptic. Go down the list. All of these billionaires, all these hedge fund managers, all these people that are pro-Bitcoin right now, at one point were anti-Bitcoin. Okay? And that's what I've said before. Usually you don't start off, you're not born being bullish on Bitcoin. Most people see Bitcoin the first time they hear it and they think, oh, is that some sort of scam? And then they eventually go down the path and they understand, oh wait, I should probably have all of my money in Bitcoin. It is a process, and most people are not done with that process yet, meaning we are still early. Relatively. So with the entire cryptocurrency market cap sitting right at new all-time highs, I still want to note there's that CME gap right down at about 80,000. Maybe we get to $100,000, and then let's say we had a crash. Let's say we go up to $100,000 and we had a 20% crash down to $78,000, and then we resume the bull market. That is a possibility that you need to keep in mind, and it's not a bad possibility. It's not a bearish one. We see Bitcoin dominance actually still continuing to rise. all the daily charts for Bitcoin look really strong. Are we printing some sort of ascending wedge, another one ready to break out? Hey, it's possible. This market is being flooded with new capital and big money as well. We see the stock market today having, trying to have some green after kind of topping out in the middle of November, or just about last week on the SPX specifically. And obviously I want to mention meme coins. Meme coins are exploding. Specifically one that I invested in recently, big time, like I put a pretty big investment because of Dan at Crypto Capital Venture, honestly, is Dog. It's a Bitcoin meme coin. Oh, I've never said those two words together, but that's kind of weird. Bitcoin meme coin. It's up 23% today. So, I mean, I put a nice chunk in just a couple of days ago, and it's been up big time. And other altcoins? Render's doing pretty well. A couple other meme coins are doing pretty well, right? Overall, this market is kind of just slowly trending upwards. And what is this altcoin chart right here? Another thing, we are still in the beginning stages of a breakout here, but as I just showed as well, Bitcoin dominance is still rising. So don't expect the biggest altcoin gains yet, but let's say Bitcoin hits 100K and maybe holds there for a week or two and doesn't move much. That might be an opportunity for altcoins to go crazy. Overall, I mean, you should have your positions done now. You should have your positions positioned big time. If you're in this market, you want to have all your positions ready and sitting for the most part and ready for this move. Okay, this is what you wait 3-4 years for. This is what you wait the entire cycle for. And get signed up with Femex below if you want Bitcoin or altcoins. And without any further ado, it's for me.